I really think that 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds have a very fresh approach to painting. They've got no hang-ups, they just do it. And they're not rubbing out and changing things, they just get on, and it's very fresh and bold and bright and beautiful.
Hilary Hall's new entrants produce remarkable paintings. They bring a degree of energy and commitment to their work that belies their age and reflects the determination of their teacher.
If we're going to do a painting, I regard it as a major piece of work. 2 weeks before we start painting, I'll tell the children we're going to paint a vase of flowers, and I'll tell them, when you're at home, I want you to go out into the garden, look at flowers, you know, draw little flowers. We would also spend time looking at the artists' paintings too. So it's a big build-up, because I like them to think of it as a really important piece of work.
For the flower paintings, Hilary uses the work of Van Gogh, Matisse and New Zealand artists Dean Buchanan and Pamela Wolfe.
Yes, we went to see Pamela first so that they could see a real artist's work and have some idea how she went about it. She shared with them all her paintings that are on her walls. She shared with them the prints she's done. She showed them her printing machine. She showed them the sorts of equipment she used. She talked about layering paints and that sort of thing to give texture, and the children were able to ask lots of questions.
They're just house paints that you've probably seen your mum and dad painting a house or things like that.
Megan, what did you notice?
The children are bubbling with ideas when the time finally comes to paint. Hilary leads them in discussion, recollecting their observations of flowers and paintings and focusing them on the vase she's placed before them.
Well, I'm trying to get them to really look at what they're going to paint. For example, the vase, try and make the shape of the vase. Look at the flowers, what colour they are, how big the petals are, what the centres of the flowers are like, what the leaves look like. So trying to get them really to focus in on what they're going to paint.
Everything has been set up before the pupils arrive. Hilary takes painting in the hall, where she can cover a large area with polythene. On this, she lays out the paper, some chalk, a paintbrush and a rag for each child. Armed with their pencil sketch and a clear understanding of the sequence to follow, the children begin.
They always use their finger to see how they're going to fill up the space, and then when they've used their finger, they use chalk, and they chalk out how they're going to paint their picture, and then they're ready to paint.
Each child discusses the chalk drawing with Hilary before she gives them the go-ahead to paint. This is put on cardboard pallets from ice cream containers, and children select a brush that's suited to blocking in the positive spaces.
I always start with the primary colours, red, yellow, blue, white, not too much black, because some of them tend to use too much black. And I think it's really good for them to mix their own colours. They learn a lot about what colours are made up of, and they really enjoy it. They get really excited when they discover a new green or a new blue. With young children, you try to tell them what to do, but they don't always listen exactly, but you give them guidelines. And I like them to fill in the big spaces first, and then to do the detail with a thinner brush when they've done all the big parts.
Yellow,
yes, yellow
or some red curtains.
In the second painting session, the focus is on painting background and detail, and Hilary gathers the children's paintings together.
We re-motivate them, re-look at the flowers, re-look at everything, And also, we often look at a lot of the children's paintings. As I give them out, we just look and see what people have done. So I ask the children, what do you think this person could do now on their painting? And they usually have better ideas than I do, so it's good. And it makes everyone feel important. If you're holding a child's painting up and we're all helping that child.
As the children work, Hilary talks with them individually, refocusing and redirecting.
I try and get them to go and look at the flowers. What does the middle look like? Perhaps the vase looks a bit rough. They haven't painted carefully. I might suggest that they just tidy it up a little bit or put a little bit more colour. Just all the time trying to get the painting better. It's white and blue. I love it. It's looking absolutely gorgeous.
Getting paintings better is very much about problem solving, discussing with individuals strategies for improvement.
The children actually really like that. We'll pin it up on a blackboard or something, walk away from it and have a look at it from a distance, and that often gives us an idea what it needs. Look at the picture, because that'll give you an idea. Red and yellow. Yeah, anything else? Blue? A bit rough. So what could we do? Yeah.
We could get the right size brush, and if you need a skinny brush, then you could go like that, because you need to go like that with the brush.
Once the children have filled the page and worked on detail, Hilary discusses with them how to put paint on paint, adding texture, light and shade using a thinner brush. The children have kept their brushes clean throughout the sessions, using rags wherever possible rather than the water bucket.
I don't like too much water and paint mixed because the colour gets very sloppy, pale and doesn't look exciting. But sometimes the brush is getting that it really needs a rinse in the water. That's what I use it for.
In this final session, children may add to their paintings, using chalk and then paint to fill in dead spaces. A few too will use black paint to help pull foreground elements out from the background, while for some there may be important changes.
The beauty of paint is you can change things, and if you really don't like it, you can paint over it. I try to get all the children happy with their painting. Okay, that would look beautiful. I think Samantha, do you think he's finished? You perhaps can see something he could do. So we want them really beautifully finished. Hertz had an orange background. We changed it to black because it really, you couldn't really see the flowers, so we decided we'd change it. And Augusta wasn't really very happy with hers, so we tried really hard to get it right for her by looking at it and seeing what would make it better.
Painting is engrossing but tiring work for children. Some find it difficult to stay committed to their painting and work through the problems. But for most, the end result is as satisfying for child as for the teacher.
I think if the child's happy with what he's done, I'm really happy about that. Before I started painting, I have things I want to achieve. For example, with the flowers, it would have been filling positive space effectively, mixing colours, learning to mix colours. It would have been showing texture on petals and stalks. So when I look at the painting, I'll look and see if the child's done all those things. And you change your objectives according to the subject you're doing.